Hey guys, what up, Viper here, and today with the release of PB4 and its public testnet still, but we can go and farm airdrop points and such. I want to give you guys a super good beginner intro and what to do, what to get started with, what are your first goals and priorities are, and how to go from there. In today's video, I'm going to reference a couple things that I've talked about in previous videos, so make sure to go check those out after you finish this for just more detailed information on how to do all of this very efficiently. Okay, first of all, right, we're at the obelisk and we want to figure out what to do. Well, this is really cool, a quick teleporter to your main hub, so you don't have to, I don't know, jetpack over here every single time. And this is the most relevant thing. It's called the Forge, and here's where you can make a bunch of equipments, and yeah, this is like your whole gameplay is oriented around this. Now, I think the first things to get is getting better jetpack boots and better visor. What does the visor do? Well, visor is this: you press Q and you see highlighted things very far away that you can interact with. So it's going to be really nice just to see whatever you're looking for, and upgrade boots and jetpack. You can see how fast I'm going around here. Well, you want to do that as well. It's just going to solve and speed up everything that you want to do in the future. Now, this cool jumping thing where you jump really far. Essentially, the faster you go when you start the jumps, the further they will go. Go check out, I don't know, I have a couple shorts and beginner advanced tutorial tips for that. Check that out if you want to know more about how that essentially works. Outside of the fun part and messing around, how do you create these items? You need Neoda ingot and Sanguinate essence. You get essence from plants and you get ingots through crafting with the ingot menu. Now, there's a bunch of them. How do you find the ones you're looking for? You use the filter functions here for the tiers. And how do you figure out what tier something is? You see that there's no knot or anything at the top of this little thing. So we know it is a tier 0. If there would be one little knot, it's a tier 1. If there are 3, it's a tier 3. So that's how the filters work. That's how you get around here quickly. You already start the game with basic versions of these. So the requirement of one basic one is there. You only have to unequip them. You can press the I button and you can just put your jetpack here, unequip the jetpack. Can use the filter and I can just equip it back again. So that is pretty chill. So the next question is, how do you get the ingots? You're crafting them, right? What are you crafting them from? You need a rhovium and you need osvium and a rhodium, right? It's also rhodium, right? Okay, so you also see there's no knobs or anything at the top here. So they are tier 0 items. How do you get a tier 0 items? Well, we take the teleporter thing to our obelisk. We press E to interact and we check out stage 0, 1, 2 and 3. The higher the more krypton they cost, the higher the tier items that you will likely find are there. Stage 0, you will only find tier 0 items and you cannot find tier 0 items anywhere else. So you have to go into stage 0 runs to find tier 0 items and tier 0 Illuvials. That's the first stop that you have in the game. Now, when you are in these runs, especially because they are the free-to-play zone and you can just spend infinite energy anyways, you can kind of just go in here, press M, press H, you see, okay, red parts of the map, set a marker, right mouse click, and you just quickly go over there, and you see, you press Q while going and jumping, you see, okay, there's a bunch of stuff here. You can press 2, you switch to the charge rifle, and you just shoot at whatever there is inside. Because, well, it's testnet, and again, this is like a free-to-play region anyways, so you don't have to worry about the energy. You can just shoot at everything really quickly, get a bunch of resources, because you need them eventually, right? You need the consumables for the combats. You get consumables from plants, you get essence from plants. Hunting Illuvials, you probably want to hunt a couple of these on the side while farming. You can use F and G, right, the drone abilities. It's easier that way. There's always gonna be 2 of them in here, depending on, I think you're starting with 2 earth Illuvials, so water is the toughest one to fight, fire and nature are the easiest ones, but you have a ranger with a weapon equipped and so on, so most of these fights are gonna be really easy. Now, how do you capture them? Well, you need shards to capture them. How do you get shards? We can check, oh, there are shards, and oh, they also have tiers. So Well, I didn't actually manage to get one when I just hit any of the rocks there. So you probably have to hit a couple of the rocks until you get some shard fragments. But then you can just make a shard fragment into a cured shard. Now for these, they don't cost any Hyperion. The higher ones like these cost me a little bit of Hyperion to make a uncured one into a cured one. And the cured ones, you can just throw at Illuvials like Pokeball and you have a chance of capturing them. Now that's how you progress at the beginning, right? You upgrade your basic movement speed items, so the whole game is a lot faster. And on the side, you get a couple consumables, you get a couple Illuvials extra as well, because you probably just stop in between here. You can craft some shards, you can craft our advanced jetpack, speed up the whole process. Now, what do you do after you have these? Well, we look back at the shards again, because we need shards to capture Illuvials. How do you get the other shards? Well, frankly speaking, because we play testnet and it's like fake money that we use, you just go to stage 3 runs and you just go for all the ore on these stage 3 runs. And again, because it is testnet and to like be really time efficient, you might as well just shoot at all the plants and all the ores, because you're gonna need the consumables and the essence anyways. So you can do a couple of runs like that, just shoot ore, short plants and range, get a couple of shards, get a couple of consumables. And the next thing that might be interesting for you to get, if you don't feel super comfortable with the auto battler combat especially, is having more slots in your teams. You will eventually need these anyways, but getting them is just going to make your life easier and it's going to make winning combats a lot easier. How do you get them? Well, we see it's like tier 1 materials, tier 1 ingots. We check out, we need chromium, lithium to make chromium ingots, and we need chromium and palladium to make lath ingots. If you have been looking at stage 3 runs only for mining, you might want to do a couple stage 1 runs, because these are 2 common items to be found in the high rarity stage 3 runs, I believe. So you're gonna get a lot easier access to them if you do a couple stage 1 runs, and then your combat capabilities are gonna be pretty easy, and you can go into stage 1 combats, throw shards at the Illuvials and go and capture them, and you eventually just get a stronger and stronger team. And yeah, that is how you eventually just progress in the game, mainly, honestly. Those are your main goals. Just go upgrade movement speed items, get some shards, get some consumables on the side so you can win combats and you can capture Illuvials. You capture more Illuvials to try to get better consumables, better shards, so you can capture more rare Illuvials, you can win harder combats. Now, one other thing for that is that you might want to fuse Illuvials. So you see this here, assess fusion, E to interact. I can, for example, make a Ray Leo right now. Well, actually I can't, because I don't meet the experience requirements. But if you have 3 Illuvials of the same tier and like 3 times the same thing, you can fuse them together to make a stage 2 Illuvial. And if you have 3 stage 2s, you can make a stage 3 Illuvial. What's a good example here? Oh yeah, in my Illuvial team I have a Phoros, and this Phoros is the combination of a 3 foe. So if you have 3 foe, you make this guy, and yeah, it's just like a really strong Illuvial, basically. Now, the bigger ones, if they upgrade their stage, right, this one starts as a Nature Fighter, for example. You see that here, Nature Fighter. And the bigger one becomes a Bloom Fighter. Bloom is a combination of Earth and Nature. When an Illuvial goes up in stage, they add an extra either class or affinity to the ones that they already have. And if they go up another stage, then they only have 2 combinations. There's a lot on like combat and so on. I suggest go watch a couple further previous videos. You can watch, because I have positioning videos on how to position in fights. That's going to help you win. You should definitely check out how hyper and combat in the overworld works. That is like the most important one. And there's a bunch of videos explaining, a bunch of shorts especially explaining like all the Illuvials abilities and just, like so much other stuff. If you want to deep dive into this before capturing stuff, or if you just want to have something run on your second monitor, just go check out all those playlists. And there's even like a couple old things with like how things like Bloom and so on work. Most of that is still pretty much accurate. There have been a couple balance patches, but most of the things have only changed the numbers. So the fundamental ideas on how all of the combat things and traits and how to use them and so on works, it's still pretty much the same. And it's going to be better than not having anything to watch on your second monitor and understanding how stuff works in the game, right? So the last cool thing that I'm going to tell you guys here is you have the character setup here, which like can change your character. Okay, cool. You can also change your drone, and the other drones have different drone abilities. So you can go and mess around with those. That might be really, really chill to do. And I think that concludes like what you want to know at the beginning and how you can progress and farm these airdrop points and so on. I think my good suggestion on a lot of the stuff is you probably want to build alluvial teams around teams that you want to fuse, so you can meet these experience requirements and you can create the higher stage alluvials via fusing, because capturing all of them in the wild is pretty difficult. So I hope that this was giving you guys like a good quick rundown, and yeah, I refer you guys to like a bunch of older videos because I didn't want to make this one into like a 2-hour long guide going over everything. Just jump into the game, explore, figure out how stuff works. If you get stuck somewhere, I probably have a video that you can check out over this. So hope you guys enjoyed this, hope this was helpful, and see you guys in the next one or maybe in previous ones.